Hello, this is Easy, and I'm going to show you how to trace a pattern. And there's going to be a couple techniques on doing this, and there's probably going to be even more techniques, but I'm just going to show you a couple. Wolfie already did a video tutorial about tracing patterns, and he did it in an older version of Marvelous Designer 2. I'm going to do this in the newer version because it's got some options and we can make things a little bit quicker. Before I started, I went ahead and right-clicked and activate the grid. I'll turn that off just to show you what that does. We'll just turn that back on. That's going to allow some snapping here, so what I'm going to do is select the create rectangle, and even though I put my cursor here right in the throat here, we're going to do a shirt, and we're going to leave it thing at default. It'll try making itself at the halfway mark. It might be a little bit off, so what I want to do is I'm going to hold the shift key and select all the outer points here. And as soon as all these are highlighted, I'll let go of the shift key and we'll just drag here just to show you, and it'll snap right back where I want it to be, just to make sure. Alright, I'm also going to be using a pattern that he used, and we're going to use this. We got this one here. I've got two of these I can show you, and we'll scale that up. We'll edit the texture here. Grab a little red circle so we can uniform scale it up. And you can have something like this. Alright. Turn synchronize on. Another thing you can do is if you want to line it up, you can kind of visualize it, but you still can't see through the pattern over here in the pattern window. But over here, if we just drag this out a little bit and turn on our transparency, you can kind of get a visual effect like that. The only problem about bringing this forward like this is what'll happen is it does kind of scale it up a little bit, and it kind of gives you maybe kind of a false impression of the size it's supposed to be lined up to, so you might want to be a little careful. Keep that close as you can to the avatar as possible. It's not a problem. I mean, you can still do it, but you'll probably end up having to do a little bit of adjustment on the pattern when you're done. So, or we're going to do another way. I'm going to go ahead and I got this one here. This pattern's got transparency on it. All right. This only took a couple seconds to do this, so it was pretty easy. So what we'll do is we'll scale that up. Now we'll move this one over here. Alright, we'll just hide these two right here for right now. Now I can see through the pattern over here through the shadow character. This will give me better visualization of how the pattern's supposed to fit or where to place it. Alright, you can see here the underneath the arms way over by the up on the arm, so we'll just bring this over here like this. Bring it down. What I wanted to do is I want to line this texture up right on the edge of this pattern right here. And if you notice, the top is tight, but the bottom right down here has got a gap. Alright, more than likely this pattern might have been a little bit turned when it was cropped and printed out, or some other reason, but this should be kind of flush, so I'll just squeeze this bottom over till it's flush right there. Alright. And I might bring it down just a little bit. Alright. With that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the back right here, and I'm going to be using this create polygon line. So I'm going to select it, and I want this my first point to snap to the edge right here, and I can eyeball it, but to be precise, I'll right click and make sure that activate grid's on. That'll allow the snapping there. Alright, so we'll click here. Now it might go above it a little bit, and it might go below the line. It's because it's trying to snap. It's not where I want it. It's close, but we can edit that later. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be clicking around all the outer corners, like right here and over here, down here and down here. But my snapping is still throwing it off, so we'll turn that off for right now, and we're going to go around all the corners here. And select here. Select here. Now we're going to need to snap to this edge over here, so I'll right click, activate the grid, and click. And once again, this might not line up too, because might snap above or below the line. We'll come back and edit that if that's a problem. So we'll come up here and finish this off right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the snapping, because when I bring this down it might still snap too much. So we're going to line this up right here. Select this point, and we're going to hold the shift key and just drag downwards right about in the middle of that line right there. Alright, now this down here, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there is one point higher than the other point. More than likely this little edge here at the bottom shirt was probably designed to be straight across. It's got a little tweak to it. One, like I said, one's higher than the other. Probably not a problem, but if you want a little bit precise, we'll just right click, activate the grid, and we're going to take this point and we're going to hold the shift key and bring it right down to the crosshair and do this one right here. Now it's not snapping, so we'll have to bring it to the crosshair right here. Alright, we'll let go and hold the shift key and bring that back across like something like this. Then we'll take this little line here. We're not going to be selecting this right here, because what will happen where this little dotted line is, it'll throw the points off up at the top. We need to just grab just the edge and deactivate the snapping, because once it gets up where it's supposed to be, it might jump above it or below it. So hold the shift key and we're going to bring it about right here. Alright, that looks close enough, because if we didn't grab that edge, these points up here could move on you. So alright, the next step is to add some anchor points. Alright, now most curves will probably take about 2 anchor points. Some may take 1, some may take 3, some may take 4. If they don't have a whole lot of curvature, probably get by with just putting 2 in here. Where it's got the most curvature is about right here, so I'll just place 1 here and 1 here. And, you know, the fastest way to do it, just go around and do all your anchor points first. For instance, I'll just put 1 here instead of 2, alright? And I'll get back to that in a second. And what I'll do is I'll grab the anchor point and I'll move this down where I think it needs to go. A lot of times when you edit the first one, you'll have to come back and edit it again, because when you move the second one, it might throw the first one a little out of line, and sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So it was a little bit off here, and in this video I probably won't get it real precise. Another thing is you can drag way down or way up, it doesn't matter. Alright, that looks close enough, and we'll do the same one here. Like I said, we'll have to come back to this one and do some adjustment. That looks good. Now this one here, when I bring it over, you'll see what happens with this little curve right here. When I bring it over, since I don't have 2 anchor points, when I bring it over, watch the bottom, it's throwing the alignment out right here. So we'll add an anchor point about right here. This is real simple to do and pretty quick. Then you'll get something like that. And I will be pausing the video as I go through to speed up the video and the file size so it won't be so large. Alright, we're going to move this pattern on the way, and we're going to do the front side here. This will be another way that you can do it. So I'll grab this, I'll select this pattern here, and I'll just hold the shift key, and it should just, when I start dragging it down, it should just slide down the halfway mark. Alright, it's not snapping to the grid, I'm just getting it so it slides down so I can slide it back up here a little bit later. Alright, now that we did the was that the back side right here, now we are going to do the front side. The tux is backwards right here because of the way the pattern was laid out. Alright, now the front side's over here. We want to switch, we want to do the front side next. So what we'll do is down in the width here, we're going to switch this to the negative value, and I'll put the front over on this side here. And there's the front. Now, it's best to leave everything where it's at. Do not scale it, because you'll throw the front and the back off in the size. But what you might want to do is you might want to move your alignment to fill this gap up right here, just to make sure it's correct. So we'll just slide that over like this. Alright, this next method, what we're going to do is we're going to activate the grid here. We're going to go into create polygon, and the first one is going to snap to the edge here. Alright, that worked perfect, right where I wanted it. And right click and deactivate the grid. We want the snapping back off. Now I'm going to place my cursor right here where it's curving at, but as you notice, when I click, I don't have any curvature. You must have 2 points before you can make a curve. And you do that by holding the control key. See, I'll hold the control key and I get this curve. If I let go of the control key, no curve. So I'll hold the control key right here. Alright. As you notice, everything looks fine when I bring it up. Then the curvature starts getting, it's not lining up with the other line. Not a problem. I can come back and fix that. So I'll click here and click here. Now I'm going to let go of the control key because the previous point will have a curve, and I don't, this is going to be a sharp edge here, so if I was hold the control key down, I got that curvature. I don't want that. So let go of the control key and we'll click, and we must make another click here to make a curvature. Then hold the control key, click, and the control key is still held down. Then I'm going to let go of it. I can't hold the control key to my next click, so I'll need to make one here, then hold the control key and click here. Control key is still held down. Let me zoom way in here. Alright, see the line is straight right now. If I hold the control key, I got that little bend to it. I'll let go of the control key, then hold it down to show you. Once again, we can activate the grid to make sure it's snapping. It's not snapping where it's supposed to be. We can edit that later. Then you can bring that up and basically follow through the way that I showed you last time how to straighten this edge up. I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm not going to be getting precise on this because I already showed you once. And plus, I'm going to be showing you a quicker method here in a second. And like I said, you can come back here and tweak these little, if you have a little problem about straightening some of these out. Alright, we're going to go on to the next step. As you can see that the pattern here, they look a little off here because we got one pattern. They kind of give that a scale effect a little bit. Let's go ahead and you don't need that one here. Let's select this one here, because when you move it in and out, you'll get different scale effects. See, when I bring it like that, so they need to kind of be flush with each other to get more of a correct visualization. I'll just go ahead and zoom this in here. And when I hide this, since it's still active, it'll still show the yellow outline. I just select over here, the pattern's gone, then you can see how that works right there. So That's in case you don't want to use a transparent background and don't image like I got over here, but you can go the extra step. It's not really difficult to do, but I'm not going to teach that part there. Alright, what I'm going to do here is next is a little bit easier way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here I got the front pattern, and then if you notice the front pattern and the back pattern they do resemble quite a bit. Alright, and the way I would the reason why I recommend this, I'll show you here in a second. What I'm going to do is make sure this is selected. I'm going to right click. You can use your hotkeys. I'll just copy, then I'm going to use mirror and paste, and I'm going to bring it on this side. I'm just going to eyeball it for the video. If I wanted to get precise, what I would do is let's just move this back a little bit. What I would just do is select this edge here and hold the shift. Let's try that again. And bring that so it doesn't move the texture and line it right to that edge there. Then I would move my pattern. Alright, I just matched the edge here. You know, I could do some snapping and activate the grid, but for this I'm going to speed it up and just eyeball it. And what I'm going to do is just select this point here, hold shift key, just drag it straight up, and I'm going to line all my points first, outer edges. Alright, we'll select here, and here. Alright, it's best to do all your outer edges first and instead of moving one point down the line, because they'll all get thrown out of whack. Just eyeballing it could allow some snapping to be a little bit more precise. This is going to work here. Then I'm going to come up and start editing my curves here to fit. Alright. Here. And here. Alright, I got some little bit of shadow on this transparency image. It's throwing it off just a little bit by visualization, so that's not a problem. I don't know if you can see it in the video. What's good about this is when I sew front to back, the left side and right side, they're going to have the equal amount of points, even though that they might be a little bit in off. It's going to make the sewing a lot better. Alright, of course you can see over here, once this is lying where it's supposed to be, then we'll get this right here. Let's just hide this for right now. Alright, we are done with this pattern here, so we are going to delete it. We'll activate this here. This is our back side. I'm going to bring the back side over here. We're going to select the front side. You click it. You'll have the dotted lines around it indicating it is selected. We'll hover our cursor over the edge, right click, and press unfold or Control F. Alright, it's going to mirror it and weld it into one pattern. And we'll do the same for this one here. Alright, now if you want to line these up, you can go this little extra step by just bringing this right about right here. And I'll go ahead and rearrange these. And they're stacked on top of each other now, so I know they're kind of centered from one another. That one is the back one. And this one is the front one. Alright, we're going to need to flip the normals on the back so the dark spot, or the dark area is facing inwards, flip horizontally, then we can start sewing. Like I said, since the points, we got equal amount of points, that makes the sewing better. Control delete that last one. Wasn't paying attention and I crossed them. Alright, and we'll just simulate that. It looks good right there. Alright, when you select this one right here, it's called Rearrange All Patterns. Sometimes it might throw a pattern on a wax, so you can realign it. Another little tip is, okay, if you notice something is out of whack and you want to keep the patterns the same without redoing everything, let's say the shirt is a little bit long, or a little bit short, and I need to make it a little bit longer. So I'll select here, and this edge here, and I'm going to use the arrow key on the keyboard, alright, and I'm going to remember how many times did I click it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do the same here to keep everything uniform. Hold Shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get something like that. Okay, I paused the video for a second, stepped out. I hope I didn't misplace here, so we're going to rearrange all this. And we're going to go on the next step. Let's go ahead and hide this. And you can see we got the points that are centered right here, down here. These are good to have in case that you want to align this back up. If for some reason you delete one of these points, you can always add it back in the middle between two points, this one here and this one here. If I add one in the middle, I can add it at 50%, which will make it the halfway mark. So I'll add a point, right click, and type in 50 and press OK. And another advantage of this is, let's say I want to take the front and split it apart. So what I'll do is, we're going to go into edit pattern mode, and we're going to start on this side here, and we're going to delete. The thing not to do is delete this one here, because it's going to delete that point and it's going to come over here. So let's come up here a little higher, then delete. Now we got half of this, and I want to make half of the shirt, so I'll bring this over just a little bit. We'll bring this one over just a little bit here, and I'll get a copy of this. Control C, right click, mirror and paste this one over here, and we'll bring this one to the front. Somewhere around there. And drag it up. And we're going to go ahead and finish sewing this off here. And I'll turn that one on here. Let's take a look at it. And this one. And I crossed it again. Alright, there I go. Alright, then we're going to do free sewing. I want to put where the bottom of the shirt flaps open a little bit. So I'll select here and drag here. It's going to be hard to video because now I got a lime green one here, so I'll select right across from the previous one, come up here. Alright, just in case you didn't see that, I'm going to see if I can change the color here by redoing that so you can see a little better. Alright, now we got a purple one that should be a little bit better to see. Here, here, and here. That's going to make a little flap, and I'm going to simulate it. You can see I got this little bump up here, just in case I didn't want that, but I still want the uniform, the two patterns on each side uniform. What I can do is I just select a point here, and I'm going to use the arrow key on the keyboard. Remember how many times I press it. 1, 2, 3. Do the same for this side here. And we're going to move it to the right side. 1, 2, 3. And let's go ahead and let's turn on a little wind on this here. So right click, activate the wind. Let's turn on double-sided here. So we'll lift this up. You can see the wind blowing that around. But anyway, this method here that I showed you earlier about copying and pasting the front and to the back side and removing these moving these points back around, if you recall right, it's pretty quick. Any method that I showed you here is pretty quick to do, and I think this is going to wrap it up. Thank you very much.